like basically 99% of people, at one point I had to ask myself whether I want to turn my passion into my profession. I answered this question with a no, and today I will share the arguments and experiences that shaped my way to hopefully inspire a good decision in you to help you decide, because that's what this channel is for, next to enriching myself, obviously. My goal is to inspire 10,000 good decisions, and my name is Krull, and I'm 18 years old. And so let's just get a few things out of the way before we get started with the arguments. By pursuing your passion, I mean pursuing a job that is typically paid not so well and is dominated by creativity and has often immense competition. So for instance, being a musician, being a writer, being a philosopher, being a journalist, being an artist, and stuff like that. So those are the passion jobs. And then let me get another thing out of the way. Obviously, money versus passion is not really a dichotomy. It's not a binary. It's more like a dichotomy. So do you want full money or full passion? And today we'll be focusing on the passion side of the spectrum. That's obviously why we make this video, passion. Because if you're interested in money, you obviously don't have to think about it a lot. But anyway, let's not get too distracted. So it's a spectrum: passion, money, and passion means low pay and that it's dominated by creativity. And so let's get started with the first argument. That is, you should not pursue your passion because you do not know what will make you happy. And so let me give you an experience that taught me this lesson. Many people told me that I am great at taking photos. And so in 2024, I worked as a photographer for a week. I decided that I must do something about it because maybe indeed photography is my calling. And so I worked as a photographer for a week and I absolutely hated it. Working as a photographer turned out to be something completely different than taking photos by yourself, even though the activity of taking photos remains the same. Somehow it didn't feel at all like the same thing. And so I found it very, very exhausting to work as a photographer. It drained all of my energy. I had to fight upstream all the time. And that is not predictable beforehand. I didn't know it before that working as a photographer would suck so much compared to just taking photos. And so I urge you to give your passions a try. Work in your passion and then see whether you like it or not. Because let's say you are a passionate piano player, and then you quit school to become a piano player, to then discover in the first week that you actually hate working as a musician, if you even get that job, by the way. Imagine what kind of embarrassment that is, to make a big and permanent decision, to then discover that the thing you sacrificed for turned out to be unenjoyable. You know, when you sacrifice money for passion, it's one of the biggest things that you can do in life, and so you should not take that lightly. Give as many things a try as possible before making your commitment. And let me now give you another experience or insight that has shaped my perspective. So I've just discussed that people don't know what will make them happy because things often turn out different than what they seem from an outside perspective. That can actually be a good thing. So I am a passionate writer. I wrote hundreds of thousands of words in the last 2 or almost 3 years. But what I discovered is that for some reason, programming is just as inspiring and fulfilling as writing. Programming, as it turned out, also had some of that passion potential because it also very much aligned with my inner wiring. And I didn't know that because writing and programming seem like completely different things. They are on surface unrelated. You don't have many writers who are into programming and many programmers who are into writing. It's more often the case that someone passionate for technology will be avert to art, to literature. And so I didn't know that this would be a great combination, but as it turns out, it clicked something within me and turned out to be a great combination. I don't know why, but I can speculate that it's not actually writing that was my passion, but rather creating systems. So in all of my texts, I basically destroyed fallacies and revealed new ways to think about things. Programming is essentially the same because you take out of all the possible versions of reality, you pick one that does the job best. In other words, you make a program that runs well and solves the problem well. This is also the same with the kinds of texts that I'm writing, where I'll explain a life decision like this one, whether you should pursue your passion or not, and then think about it and then come up with a solution that works. This is kind of a mirror, and you can see this principle in many instances. For instance, some people are passionate for math, but also for music, because the math and music are similar on the fundamental level, that they are both the dance between the expected and the unexpected, between chaos and order, between predictability and uncertainty, because that's what music is. It's the play between predictable rhythms and some chaotic element that really makes music interesting. And math is exactly the same. Math is super predictable, but sometimes you have a few great insights that challenge how we viewed basically everything that came before it. The thing is, it's hard to figure out the underlying motivation and the underlying principle, so to speak, because it is also very abstract. In that sense, I recommend you to try as many things as you can, and chances are you will discover a very random combination that then, combined with the standard passion, will more or less complete you. Like for me, writing and programming, or like for someone else, music and math. I encourage you to try so many different things that it becomes an inevitability. And when you do that, pursuing your passion no longer becomes a debate. It becomes sort of a lifestyle, because I can work as a programmer and make money, and then write and reflect on the experiences that I had. It is therefore a lot better to try out many different things than just to be committed to one. This is because we do not know what will make us happy, and we are very bad at predicting that. Let me give you another example why things often don't turn out to be the way that you think they will turn out. Many children are interested in science, but when they then work as scientists, they discover that they are no longer passionate. Do you know why? Well, because pursuing science as a child means that you get to watch a 45-minute documentary on how people landed a thing on Mars. But then actually doing science means that you stare at Excel worksheets all day long. So this is proves once again, reality is often not how it seems. And so just try out as many things as you can, and you will discover your combination. And now, what if you have tried many different things? What if you have tried working your profession and still want to make your passion your profession? In that case, I would still advise against. And let me give you an example why. So as you might know, I upload about 5 times a week. Sometimes I have nothing to say and feel uninspired, and so I don't upload. But what if I were to pursue YouTube full time? Well, I've done that, and it sucks, because after like 2 weeks of locking yourself in to record as many videos as humanly possible, your creativity just runs dry, and then you all of a sudden have nothing to talk about anymore. And so it's actually a good thing that you can't pursue your passion full time, because if you did, you probably would run out of creativity and then suffer as a result. If you were an artist and art is the only thing you do, you wouldn't have the emotions that need expressing. This is also why artists usually don't work for very much, only like 1 or 2 hours a day. This is why writers only write for 1 or 2 hours a day. Even the great writers only write like 1,000 or 2,000 words a day, by the way. And so even the great artists have something to do in the meantime to do the other 22 hours of the day. And so what makes you think that you can pursue your passion full time when not even the great people could do so? You see, it is necessary to occupy yourself. It is necessary to experience novelty in order to then have something to reflect, to express, or to process. If you do not have those things, your art will be uninspiring. And so you will not only sacrifice money, but also your passion. In that sense, passion is kind of like your typical hot blonde. If you pursue your hot blonde too hard, she'll lose interest. Or another example, if you hope for a butterfly to land on you, it never will. When you stop chasing, it does. It's the same with passion, because passion is very much reflective of life and all of life's dichotomies. And one of life's most important dichotomies is the fact that chasing something usually makes us lose it. And so if you want to have genuinely insightful art, text, music, you should spend your life living and then revert to your art when you feel like it, when you feel inspired to do so, rather than force yourself to do it to then run dry of creativity in a few weeks' time. And so even if you want to pursue your passion full time, even if it is enjoyable to work in your profession, it's best if you work something and then do your passion on the side, because the aspect of creativity cannot be ignored, because most passions are creative in their very nature. But now, what if you still want to pursue your passion? What if nothing can hold you back? In that case, learn how to market. This is the single greatest tip that I can give you. What the difference between an invisible artist and the great artist, a phenomenal artist, is not their art being special. It's their ability to bring it to the people. It's their ability to market. And so I encourage you to learn marketing if you want to pursue your passion. That's the most important tip that I can give you. Reality is not as simple as it seems. So you will definitely need that. Don't think it's useless. Don't think that sales and marketing are useless. They will be absolutely necessary. And so, what's the consequence of this video for me? Well, I am interested in many different things. I am interested in writing, program, philosophy, status, meditation, outdoor activities, philosophy, photography. I am interested in so many things, and I pursue none of them. Because whenever I try to pursue a passion, I notice that I lose interest in it. Whenever I try to grasp the inspiration, it fades away. And so I do something that is decently enjoyable. I go to university and leave all of the remaining time to my passions. This is the best way to live, because every other hasn't worked out for me. So this is what I do. And so remember these things from this video. Remember that you do not know what will make you happy. Therefore, you should give as many things a try as you possibly can. And even if you are passionate about something, please remember that you need a balance, because otherwise your creativity will run out. And then learn how to market. That will serve you well in the pursuit of your passion. And so if this video helped you, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.